All right, what's poppin', YouTube? Elephant in the room. All right, so I got this Turbo Domain Monarch deck. Now, as I run through the rundown, you will then begin to understand where the turbo comes into play. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so first, let me bring in the heavyweights. Got these two. All right, Caius and Ether. Caius and Ether, you know, pretty much they do their own thing when they finally get on the field. They do their thing, they do their damage. It's self-explanatory. All right, so that doesn't really need too much explanation. All right, so obviously run 3 of these, because it's essential and necessary. Pretty much familiar with those. All right. Run 2 of those for drawing power, in case you got a hand that you don't like or you need some more reinforcements. That's good for drawing power. This right here is pretty much just a last resort. You really don't rely on this card. This card is pretty much just, when the time being comes, you pretty much just do what it do. All right. So then I got Chaos Sorcerer and Blackluster Soldier. Now, big explanation on why this is because pretty much, not directly evenly, but if you could see, if you haven't seen already, this dark is primarily darks and lights. So pretty much it correlates with it pretty nicely and easily, and pretty much last resort. And all right, so I run 2 of these and 2 of these. Now, why do you ask I run 2 of these each and not 3? Well, this is a 40 card deck, and you're about to see why the turbo comes involved. Far as, it's a 40 card deck, but it plays like a 30 card deck, and you'll eventually see why. So the last 3 monsters, before I get into the other stuff, Morphin Jar for obvious reasons, drawing power, and these 2 just in case your hand doesn't check out too well, and this could possibly buy you some time to draw a card that might be able to help you out during the duel. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. This is the whole reason of why we call it turbo. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It's like the stigma and stereotype for Monarch decks is what? They always break up. I'm not sure about the percentages or the statistics, but it pretty much breaks up probably more than most decks usually are used to. All right, so with that being said, I got 3 Allure Darknesses. This is a risky card, but I have enough darks in this deck to pretty much give myself a good shot of not pretty much taking myself out when I use this card. That's why I run 3 of these. Drawing power, obviously. All right. So then I run 3 Tenacities. This is pretty much to get your other stuff. So 9 times out of 10, you would have a Monarch card in your hand to be able to activate this, to be able to have that type of drawing power. Okay, so that's self-explanatory. Pot of Duality. This isn't really a very good card unless you use it properly. It's like a last resort card. So pretty much this card is pretty much reluctant on this card right here, because you're not allowed to special summon any point of the turn when this card is activated, before or after. But if one of those 3 cards is this, or you use the drawing power from the other cards, you can pretty much chain yourself into getting one of these to pretty much give your deck a lot of more fluidity and not to break or lock yourself up. Then you got Upstart Goblin and Card Destruction. Card Destruction is self-explanatory. You got a hand that you don't like. You can pretty much bail out, give yourself a good chance of probably drawing something else that might be a little bit more effective. And Upstart Goblin, it just pretty makes it a 39 card deck. Pretty much. All right. Those are for the drawing power. Well, besides this one, Pantheism for obvious reasons. Got Gotta have enough Monarch cards to pretty much make that card go. The obvious three of, wouldn't be able to call it a domain Monarch deck without domain, obviously. 3 domains. Rageki and Dark Hole for pretty much, just for a last resort. If you really don't have nothing and, you need some cards to pretty much, take your opponent down, at least on the monster offensive end, then this could possibly help you depending on what they have set up. Foolish Burial. This card works very well with this one because it says pretty much whenever it's sent to the graveyard. It doesn't say where, hand, deck, or field. So pretty much this allows you to pretty much get any banished card, especially like Pantheism or something like that. Use Foolish Burial, Pantheism, get it back to your hand, free Pantheism, and it pretty much links up the drawing power. So that helps. And it also helps with this one right here, because pretty much if you don't have a Monarch in your hand, but you have a Monarch spell in your hand, you pretty much just Foolish Burial, bring that, and then it pretty much, you know the rest. So that being said, put those back where those belong. You obviously need these two, to pretty much, this card only use one, because it's not super necessary, but when you have the right amount of cards, it's pretty much locked down, and this one, it's kind of like, you know what it does. All right, so last but not least, the traps. Only run 4 traps in this deck. Now, only run 1 of these. I used to run 2, but because of how much drawing power I have and how many cards that's in the deck, it makes it seem like you have a lot more than what's actually there due to because most of these spells are basically drawing power to condense pretty much what I have here to make it seem like a 30 card deck pretty much. But all in all, you got to keep these because, you don't know what could happen, including this one. And this card, yeah, I mean, I used to run 2. It's very effective, but it doesn't take too many plays to pretty much get this card out. So really, I don't see myself needing to, because how fast the game is, you're probably only going to need 1 of these. But pretty much that is it for this deck profile. Turbo Domain Monarch deck. You're probably not going to run into something like this. Now, it looks kind of goofy. It looks kind of weird. But the practice draws and the actual practice turns that I've taken, this is a very, very fluid deck. Like, you could really get to where you want to get at within a very short amount of time, and it doesn't have to be a randomization. I know that some people, they run 50, 45. It's a 40 card deck, but I'm telling you, it plays like it has only 30 cards in it, and that's because of the amount of drawing power you're able to get. So I don't know, man. I mean, test it out. I'm about to go to a tournament later on today. Most likely we'll leave a video, updating on how it went. But for the most part, thanks for watching. Catch up with you guys.